Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mqondis Macaba from Tembela Maths Club, a club that helps learners to understand mathematics. And we do not only help learners to understand mathematics, but we also help teachers to be able to teach mathematics better. We know that we don't know much, nobody knows much, but we believe that everyone can learn from each other. So I can learn from you, you can learn from me. So that is why we also believe that some teachers can learn from us in the same way as we can learn from them. So today we are going to be dealing with introduction to algebra, and then we are going to be doing solve for x. So basically, if you have been having problem with algebra, now this is your last stop. It stops right here. We are going to take you through and start it from the very beginning, and then in such a way that we take you on the basic levels, explain things in details, and then from there we'll go up with you and reach as much as you would like to reach with you. So we are going to do introduction to algebra, solve for x. So basically, when you say solve for x, what do you actually mean? When you say solve for x, you simply means that x must remain alone. So you must try and find a way of having x being alone on the left hand side, and then there must be a number on the right hand side. Okay. Now that value of x that you will find, it must be a value of x such that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. But don't worry about that. I will explain that in detail. All right. Right. Now let's look at a simple problem that we are going to come with. And the problem is x minus 2 is equal to 3. So solve for x. Okay, number 1, you've got x minus 3 minus 2 is equal to 3. All right, remember we said when you solve for x, at the end of the day, you must have x is equal to something. So you must have x remaining alone, where remaining alone on the left hand side. So if you want x to remain alone in the left hand side, so you must chase away these 2. All right. So how can you chase away these 2? You are going to chase away these 2 by taking it to the other side. All right, taking it to the other side. So when you take these 2 to the other side, you're going to remain with x here, and then equal to 3 was already here. When you take this 2 from this side, it will change a sign, and then it's going to be plus on this side. It's going to be plus 2. Now, therefore, you have x is equal to 2 plus 3 plus 2 is equal to what? Is equal to 5. Right. Now, what do you call this method of taking a number from here to the other side of the equal sign? You call this method, let me use a different pen. You call it transposing. All right. You call it transposing. All right. So transposing is just a fancy word that simply means that you take a number from here and you put it on the other side of the equal sign, and if the sign of this number was plus, then on the other side it's going to be minus, but if it was minus, on the other side it's going to be plus. All right. Now, is this value correct? This value of x, is it correct? Can we check it if it's correct or not? So what we are going to do is we are going to verify it. Verify. Okay. So when we verify it, what do? We take this as it is, this equation as it is, and then you have x minus 2, which is equal to 3. right? So we take this value, which is 5, that we claim that it is a solution. So we're going to have 5 minus 2, which is equal to 3. And then 5 minus 3, therefore you've got 3, which is equal to 3. So that means the left hand side is equal to what? The right hand side. Okay. So if I take this 5 and put it here, it does make the left hand side to be equal to what? To be equal to the right hand side. That means my answer is correct. Now, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, it's very important to be able to check this the value of x if you have been solving for an equation. There is nothing that is as interesting and as nice as knowing that your answer is correct. When you've done a question or when you have solved a question and then you are going to the next one, you know for a fact that my answer is correct because I did tested it and it was okay. All right. So sometimes they do ask you to verify to show if your answer is correct, but sometimes if they say you must verify, you must just then do something like this. All right. But sometimes they don't tell you to verify, but it will be nice, it will be in your own interest to verify with yourself like this, or you can even verify just using a calculator, just to quickly see if your answer is what? If your answer is correct. All right. So you, every time when you're solving for x, you can solve for x and then you can then verify if your answer is correct. So basically the step that we're using here, or the method that we're using, is a method of transposing. The method of transposing is one of the methods that you use when you solve for x, and then you use it if if these two numbers are separated by either plus or minus, then you can use transposing. All right, great. Let us go to the next one and let us see what is it that we can get. All right, so the next one is 2x. This was number 2, and then it's 2x, which is equal to 8. They are saying solve for x. And in English, what does that mean? That simply means that find the value of x such that when you insert it here or when you put it here, then it will make sure that the left hand side is equal to what? Is equal to right hand is equal the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. Okay, but they just say in mathematics solve for x. You must know what is it that it means. Okay, now these two numbers are no longer separated by plus or minus. So that means that we cannot be able to do what? We cannot be able to do transposing. So in this case, what can we do? Remember, when we are solving for x, we want x to be alone. So if we want x to be alone here, we must chase away a number that is with x. Now, what is the number that is with x in this particular case? It's 2. So how do we change this 2? So how we change this 2 is we divide by 2 here. But because this is an equation, when you do something here, you must also do it well. You must also do it here. So you divide by 2 here, and then you also divide by 2 here, right? And then these 2 cancel these 2, and then you remain with x alone, exactly what you're looking for, which is 8, with 8 over 2, and then x is equal to what is 8 over 2? That is 4. So the claim here is that x is equal to what? Is equal to 4. Now, does x equal to 4, does it work in this kind of equation? Remember the equation that we had, it was 2x. It was 2x is equal to what? Is equal to 8. So when we put 4 here, what happens? Aha, we get 8, which is equal to 8. What does it mean? It means the left hand side is equal to what? Is equal to the right hand side. That means our answer is correct. Right. Okay, so we know that our answer is correct. Now, the method that we used here, what is the method that we use? We use the method of division. So what do? We divided the method of the dividing. Okay, transpose, and then we divide. Just divide, just to be consistent with what we wrote. Divide. So we divide here. Okay, right. So guys, remember. Okay, there's something that I must say as well before I say anything. That when it comes to solve for x, guys, there are many ways in which you can deal with methods. So now I am introducing one of the methods that we use. Now that does not mean that these are the only methods. There are many methods. It's just that we are using this, and this is the method that I think will be very helpful too. But that does not mean that these are all the methods, or you must exactly use this one. There are many methods out there. All right, that is the disclaimer that I wanted to make. Okay, so we dealt with transposing, and now we dealt with divide again, and then let's look at another one. We are still solving for x. Now this is the third one. Number 3. Okay, so we've got x over 3, which is equal to 4. Right, we are solving for x here. We have a problem here. Okay, we've got now a fraction. Okay, so we can't use divide, we can't use transpose. Okay, so what are we going to do now in order to solve for x here? Remember, we are looking for a value that we can put here so that the left hand side will be equal to what? To the right hand side. So what are we going to do? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you something that is going to be very helpful, not only in this solve for x, on the basic level of it. Oh, by the way, guys, this is for grade. This is the beginning in grade 8, but also if you're doing grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, you can actually use this video as a revision. But fundamentally, it is for grade 8. Okay, great. Let's go on. So I'm going to introduce you a method that is going to be useful throughout mathematics. Guys, if you have a fraction and then equal to and then a number, make sure that you make that number a fraction as well, so that you can be able to move things easily. So how can you make a fraction, a number that is not a fraction, to be a fraction? It's very simple. You must divide by 1. So we divide by 1 here so that we can have a fraction this side and then a fraction this side. Now after doing that, we'll then do what we refer to as cross multiplication. We're going to multiply this with this. That is what cross multiplication is saying. We're going to say this times this, and then this one times this one. All right, we always start with the part that has x. So if we say x times 1, we will remain with what? We will remain with x. And then 3 times 4 is equal to 12. Now this method is called cross multiplication. All right, this is called cross multiplication. You use it when you've got a fraction this side and then you've got a fraction that side as well. All right, so now we know there's a method called, what is the first one? It was transpose. You transpose, and then there is also divide, and then there is also cross multiplication. So you cross multiply. All right, okay, now let's go on and let's look at another one, number 4. Right, so number 4, we are still solving for x, and then we've got 24 over x, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 6. There's a fraction here, we make it a fraction here again so that we can push things through, and then we say we cross multiply. We always start with the part that has x. This times this, we're going to get an answer, and then this multiplied by this, and then we'll take it from there. Let's see. So x times 6 is equal to 6x, and then 24 times 1 is equal to 24. Aha, okay, so this is what we have. But when we are here, we are not done. X is still not alone. Remember, one X will be alone. X is still not alone. So what can we do? We must chase away this one. Okay. Now we divide by 6, and then because we divided by 6 here, we also do the same here because it's an equation, and 6 cancels the 6, and then X is equal to 24 divided by 6 is going to be 6, 12, 18, 24. Your answer is what? Our answer is 4. You can test your answer yourself, and then you can see if it does work. You can pause this video and then test it just so that you can see if you are running things to the right direction. But ladies and gentlemen, personalities, I want you to notice that in these steps, what I did is here I cross multiplied, right? But it wasn't all. And then the next step, what did I do? I divided. Okay. Now I'm no longer using only one step. I've used only one method. I've used two methods in one problem. So ladies and gentlemen, personalities, there are times where you use what? Where you use two methods or even more methods, and then in order to solve problems that you're supposed to solve, right? So I want you to be very aware of that. This was number 4. Now let's look at number 5. Number 5 is 3x. We're still solving for x. It's 3x over 4, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 5 over what? Over 2. All right. So how do we solve this? It's a fraction. It's obvious. It's cross multiplication, and then it's gonna start with the part that has x, and then we're gonna follow with this one. So 3x times 2, we're going to get 6x. Yes, and then 4 times 5, we're going to get 20. And then when we are here, we divide by 6, and then we divide by 6. This cancel this, and then we'll remain with x, which is equal to 20 over 6, right? Now, 20 over 6 can still be reduced. How do I know that? There is a number that gets into 20, and it can also get into 6. And what number is that? That number is 2. All right? So, how many times does 2 get into 20? It gets into 20. How many times? 10 times. All right? And then over. And then how many times does 3 get into? Does 2 get into 6? It gets in there 3 times. So my final answer is 10 over 3. So ladies and gentlemen, personalities, this is my final value of x. So if you have a fraction, but it is not in a simplified, in the simplest possible form, guys, you must reduce that fraction and make it to be in the simplest possible form, which is in such a way that it cannot be simplified further. That is really helpful in the bigger scheme of things. All right. So this is what we're doing here. You're solving for x. So number 5. Number 5. So this was number 5. This is number 6 now. Okay, we're still solving for x. We've got 3x plus 4, which is equal to 31. Okay. So we can see here that these two are separated by plus. So we know that if we've got something like that, what do? We transpose. So you end up with 3x, which is equal to 31. And then when you take this to this side, it's going to be minus what? It's going to be minus 4. All right? It's going to be minus 4. So 31 minus 4. 31 minus 4, you've got 3x here. And then 31 minus 4 is going to be 27. And then divide by 3. divided by 3. This cancels this 3. We're gonna have x. 27 divided by 3. We're gonna have 9. You can take this 9 and put it back here and see if it works. Again, in this particular case, we did not use one method, but we used two methods. So we are getting used to these cases where we are using more than one method. All right, now let's do the last one. And then close shops. After that, that is number 7. Right. So number 7. So we've got 2x plus 3, which is equal to what? Which is equal to minus 12. Minus 12. Right. So what is happening here? Okay, guys. Remember BODMAS? BODMAS used to tell us that bracket first. You must sort out bracket first. So this bracket must disappear. Okay, can we do something inside the bracket? We can't do anything, okay? So because we can't do anything inside the bracket, then let's do something outside the bracket. Because if there was something that you could do inside the bracket, we would have started with that in terms of BODMAS, but there's nothing. So we'll start with outside. So this multiplied by this, we're going to get 2x. And this multiplied by this is going to be plus 6, which is equal to minus 12. And then this one is transpose now. So it's 2x is equal to minus 12 minus 6 now, because this 6 going to this side. And then minus 12 minus 6 is going to be minus 18. And then it's 2x. And divide by 2 divided by 2. This cancels this. You're going to have x, which is equal to minus 18 over 2, which is nothing other than minus 9. You can take this minus 9 and plug it here, and then you will see that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. All right. So here, even before you started using methods of transposing and whatnot, you had to take care of things in BODMAS. You have to take care of the brackets. You have to make them disappear so that you can be able to push things through. So sometimes they give you things that you have to do something on those things before you even attempt to do the steps that we did speak about. So if that kind of a thing happens, therefore, always be aware of it. So guys, when you approach problems in Solve for X, always approach it from the understanding point of view so that you can be able to see these kind of things that are here. All right, this is Solve for X, and then which is a very, very important part of your work. Now, when you solve for X, so just to put things in perspective, we dealt with 4 methods of solving for X. The first one was to transpose, the second one was to divide, and then the third one was to cross multiply, and then the fourth one was a mix of any of the above. And then there were other things else that we had to do sometimes in order to make things happen. All right, so transpose, we know we use transpose when terms are separated by plus or minus. Divide, we use divide if terms are separated by multiplication sign. And cross multiply, we use cross multiplication if we have a fraction on the side and then we have a fraction on the other side. And then in other cases we use mix. So ladies and gentlemen, personalities, thank you very much for tuning in. This is Mkondes Macaba from Tembela Med, and then I hope this will help to set you up so that you can be able to solve problems in algebra. Okay, this was just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. There is another video coming which deals with other aspects of solving for X, for example, the quadratic and the related stuff. But for now, let us stop it here in close shops. Mkondes Macaba from Tembela Med. Thank you very much, and ladies and gentlemen, personalities, goodbye. And thank you for watching.